Heh. Is this when Aurelie turns around and she's like, actually, I've been under a spell as well. And then she just, like, tears off everything. Hopefully not, that's a bit weird. Before we could stop ourselves, we burst out laughing, causing the challenges around us to look perplexed, possibly even alarmed or scared. Why are we laughing? This is a bad time to be laughing. We should not... Alright, if it makes them alarmed or scared... alarm's a terrible thing to make someone. If we're making them scared, that's good. Why are you two laughing? Help me! Omari retreated to the other side of the carriage as he struggled to conjure a spell. Kerr, still chuckling, knocked another man out and darted around the carriage while I was locked to second last foe standing. I riposted and he blocked my sword, retaliated with a swift kick to the stomach, and he stumbled back. His eyes darted over his fallen comrades as he slowly backed away. I pointed my sword at him and he hastily disappeared into the forest, leaving his partners behind. Perfect timing, since I could feel my focus spell wear off. Coward. A high-pitched scream came from the carriage, and I turned to see that the door was open. One of the armed men was escaping with the box. No! Not while I'm around. Jesus Christ! Da earth magic dough. Hang on a second, why didn't you do that to begin with? We could have avoided 5 minutes of fighting, you pillock! He slammed the ground with his fist, causing the whole place to shake. I knelt down, covering my head as my sword clattered harmlessly into the soil. My knees felt like they'd been liquefied, and I had to use one hand to support myself. Stop doing it! I couldn't move, and each shock only reinforced my terror. Kerr, cease this at once! Did Omari notice I was scared? The man tripped from the jolts, and the box flew out of his grip. It hit the rocky terrain with a crash, causing the latch to open. I forced myself to stand up, but I was unnerved by the tremors. Every step felt wobbly. It would do. Kerr focused on the almost thief who had disappeared into the woods. By the time I had got to the fallen objects, Omari was already scooping up the items back into their coffer. I saw feathers sticking out. Perplexed by the wares, I reached out for the box, and Ilmari slammed it shut, his face pale white. Ilmari? Phew, closed it. It would have been unfortunate if it got damaged. He's such a bad liar. It was intact? Yes, nothing appears broken. He gave a strained smile. Kerr chased off the remaining conscious opponents, and I carefully stepped around the supine ones. A few groans were emitted, but they probably won't be up for a while, so I'm just going to leave them there. I personally just leave them all like in sexually questionable positions and hope that none of them remember how they got there and then suddenly got rather embarrassed. Saying that, they could all be by and just get on with it anyway. Who knows? Ilmari handed the box to me as if he was eager to get rid of it. Thanks, I'll return this to Mr. Armand. I hastily approached the vehicle and placed the box on the seat. The frightened merchant glanced up warily. We chased them off, whoever they were. He clutched the cover, cradling it on his lap. Did you see what was inside? No, but I'm sure the contents are safe. I closed the door, but promptly asked the coachman to resume driving. There's a coachman, and he didn't help us a bit. What a bastard. I sheathed my sword and rubbed my throbbing left hand, regretting my rash display before. Then again, it wasn't like I'd had the time to explain a punch, and Kerr had caught on quickly. As we walked, I could feel the adrenaline rush leave me and fatigue creep up. I didn't think I'd do something like that so soon. Well, come on, like now we can just go out to the night and be like, look, bitch, on the way, we fucking dealt with 9 opponents. No, not 9, 8 opponents. We're fine. We're amazing even. Or something like that. I looked up to gauge the boys' expression to see how they were faring. Kerr was positively beaming, every struck screamed of his triumph. Ilmari had become oddly quiet and he appeared lost in thought. Do I want to know what is inside the box? Do I want to know what was inside? No! We'll die. No, I don't want that. Balls to it. I sidled up to Kerr. Surprisingly, he didn't flinch or increase the distance between us. Someone looks happy. I thought this journey would be boring, but it might not be so dull after all. Not that I want to prolong it more than necessary. My prime concern is still getting to the next altar. I'm sure. Right. But we made a pretty good team, if I do say so myself. You fight quite well in that form. You're not half bad yourself. Whoa! That compliment! I didn't think he was capable. Although your punch could use more work. Thanks? I guess? I'll stick to my sword, thank you very much. I'll entrust the hand-to-hand combat to you. Speaking of which, is your hand okay? Huh? I was still subconsciously rubbing it and subsequently stopped to reassure him that I was unharmed. I'm good, I'm just not used to it. I smirked wryly. Thanks for caring. I wasn't... like you said, just leave the unarmed combat to me. Stop pointing it out. Just let each other fucking compliment one another, Jesus. It's starting to sound like we'll be travelling together even longer. Only if you continue to be helpful, I can still find someone else if I want to, I'm sure. He grumbled and walked faster, but I did appreciate his concern. In a few days, Oh god, there are going to be more attacks. We would arrive in Oliver. I adjusted my bag and thought about the letter, eager to reach the guild. Are we going into chapter 5 now? This is chapter 5, isn't it? I struggle to see... I want to be a knight. I struggle to see how this is going to be complete. So, when was the last time we had a chapter? It was about 20 odd minutes ago, wasn't it? So... I have no idea how we're going to do this. Halt! State your business! Cargo delivery from mentioned virtues. I half expected some questioning, but the name seemed to carry enough weight that the guard simply nodded and ordered the gate to be raised. Oh, okay. Well, that's a good sign. It's all the evil people out there just go, merchant ventures, and they just steal and raid the whole town. Although I suppose if like 100 shoulders turned up, we're merchants, no one would believe them. While that was happening, I approached the client, who gave me a small pouch of coins. As per our agreement, I grinned and accepted the payment, resisting the urge to check. Was it rude if you counted the money in front of your client? Oh, no. It's a fucking merchant. The heaviness seemed appropriate as my fingers gripped the bag. Thank you, and I'm glad you arrived safely. Take care. As the carriage rolled away, I noticed Kerr and Ilmari were standing around, gawking at the thick city walls. Well, should we get going? They broke out of their trance. Ilmari's eyes shone radiantly, while Kerr tried to hide his stupefaction. Stupefaction? Is that supposed to say stupefaction? Probably. Please try to stay with me, no wandering off. I tucked the pouch into my belt and they quietly followed, soaking in the sights as we entered the city. At first we strolled easily through the wide streets, which had many carts and carriages passing by. Eventually the crowds thickened, forcing us to slow down. I could see the two dragons were getting a few curious stares, but everyone seemed too busy with their own schedules to pay real attention. Just for the record, if people with those kind of ears passed me, I would do nothing but stare. I don't know how you couldn't. Nope. Those were no more than passing glances. If it was more unusual, I'm sure people would have stopped and commented. It was then I spotted one person with ears similar to Kerr's, so it was true that there were more dragonkind here. Have I never been? At the plaza, there was a large platform with carnival feats on display. A fire eater launched a flame, and the crowd awed and applauded accordingly. Accordingly. Wait, I didn't know you heavenkind could breathe fire. What is this trickery? How does it work? Can anyone learn it? It's an illusion. It only appears like that because he extinguishes it at the right time. He's not going to know what extinguish means, is he? Come on, this way. Just going to let him fucking think about it. Balls to it. As we zigzagged, Amari abruptly stopped and I nearly bumped into him. Amari? He had found a glass-blowing shop with an open front, and one of the artists was moulding a transparent blue bubble through the blowtube. Through the blowtube. Suspended all around the store were glass-blown ornaments. Below, rainbow vases sparkled in the sunlight. Ilmari gasped in wonderment. That's phenomenal! How are they able to create something so beautiful? There's so many colours! You spell colours with a U. He took a step forward and I quickly pulled his braid, then on Kerr's hair because he was dawdling toward a pastry shop. We'll never get to Argent Valir Guild at this rate. Come on, but I want to see. They have apple tarts. We can check the glass shop later, and Kerr, you'll get cavities if you keep eating those. Enough dilly-dallying. We have somewhere to go, and I want to get there now. Yeah, alright, bossy. I released them both after they promised they wouldn't run off, and made sure they stayed close. So Nice Guild is like in a rather nice-looking park. Fortunately, the guild was located in a quieter part of town between the church and the public gardens. Kerr looked quizzically up at the headquarters, which proudly displayed an embossed sign. This doesn't look like an altar. Sorry, this is just a small side trip, promise. I clapped my hands together and gave a little bow, closing one eye. something I really need to do first. I'd love to have you come in with me, but they probably don't allow just anyone. Oh yeah, because they'll look at their ears, and be like, yeah, we don't allow normal people in here. Dragons, you say? No. They look terrible. Whatever. So, can you two please not wander off? I'll treat you all to the glass shops and apple tarts you want after. Promise. Fine. Why do I distrust Ilmari more in this situation than I distrust Kerr? I sighed, but was relieved that at least one of them was obedient. Besides, even if there are not dragonkind here, you might attract too much attention. I won't be there to protect you if something bad happens. Don't worry about us, we'll be over there. He pointed to the garden, which consisted of shady trees and benches scattered around pretty flower beds. Oh, goody. Thank you! I fished out the letter and eagerly entered the building. Inside, everything seemed more normal than I'd anticipated. It reminded me of the lobby of an inn or a shop. There was a large board with various scribbled reports pinned to the cork. A few knights with authentic-looking badges walked by, giving me only a passing glance. I approached who I assumed was the receptionist. Oh, you assumed was the receptionist. Assuming is a terrible idea, don't do it. This is the Argent Valir headquarters, right? Right. I have a letter advocating me for the title of knight. Do you simply join if you fulfill some requirements, or how does this work? First, what academy did you graduate from? Oh, they're not gonna let me in, so I'm gonna have to follow dragons. I thought so. I was homeschooled? She shook her head and I started getting anxious. I pushed the letter onto the counter. At least read this, Lady Bayard. Lady Bayard? Yes, I'm her daughter. She personally trained me so I could officially join the Knights and serve under the Sun and Moon Council. She ripped open the letter and read it eagerly, like it was addressed to a far from admired a fan from an admired celebrity. I was like, far from an admired celebrity? I thought she was brilliant. Her eyes darted down. She looked up with a peculiar expression. Her credentials and titles are longer than... Yes, I know. We're aware. She had a very fulfilling and wholesome life. You must have lots of potential if you're Bayard's daughter. Sadly, we no longer accept people who merely trained under one person. What? She flashed an apologetic smile. I'm sorry, so sorry, but rules are rules, and as much as I admire your mother, new protocols have been recently implemented and they are to be followed. Who saw that coming? I know, what a shocking twist. You know what, I'm in so much surprise that I am going to drink the last of my Red Bull. Drunk. It's good. Red Bull's good. Unfortunately, now I have no way of keeping myself hydrated or cool, so, oh well, YOLO. If you want, I could look for openings at the Oliver Knights Academy. Her voice droned on, but I could no longer register anything. I could only stand there numbly and nod. All my training for nothing? That can't be. I'm just going to go with the dragons. Aurelie, are you okay? I was not sure what had happened, but I had somehow managed to make my way to one of the benches outside. I was curled up with my head nestled in my knees, not responding to any of Ilmari's pleas. Now is not the time to be a poet. Also, Jesus Christ, why is the music so quiet in this bit? Everything's at normal volume and it's just like... So, did it work out? Kerr! Well, I'm just asking if it worked out. Obviously not. Embarrassed and eyes teary, I glanced up to see what the other two were doing. Well, I mean, Ilmari appears to be thrusting towards my face. Kerr is looking at me weirdly from behind. I do not like where this is going. Ilmari was hovering around me fretfully, like he was trying to figure out how to shoo a spider out of the kitchen. Kerr, on the other hand, gave me a stern look that said he'd relegated me to the status of dirt under his shoe. And I didn't care. It's over. All over. What does one do to reassure a heavenkind? I tilted over, letting my curled body rest against the bench. They usually take him or her out to the pub so they can drown in their sorrows. What's a pub? Is it a kind of lake? I don't want anyone to drown. Oh, God, what is it with... It's something I found a lot living in foreign countries. Like, once you're speaking to someone who has, say, English as their second language, Everyone fucking uses expressions they're never going to understand. All the time, exactly like that. Drowning Osiris, they're not going to understand that. Grumble, grumble, grumble. My chest and shoulders shuddered from half a hiccuped sob and a laugh. Oh, those two. I sat up and wiped my eyes. I'm fine. It'll take a while to recover, that's all. As long as you can take me to the next altar, I'm good. I scowled and shot up, staring him in the eye. I wanted to become a knight so I could help you better. I still have no idea what those are, and I don't care. Don't care? You've already delayed us enough with your fiasco. And you're the one who kept telling us not to wander off. Hey, rocks for brains. A precious little girl's dream just sort of shattered into a million pieces here. Excuse me if I don't feel like, guiding you to the next altar right now. This is pathetic. He's looking at something. Why don't we just pay attention to him? Hopefully someone will have accepted me. I bet I could find someone else better who would be, more willing to... Quiet, both of you! There was a ferocious snarl at the end of Omari's sentence, and both of us immediately stopped arguing. I blinked blankly as I sat back down on the bench, surprised that Omari could express such ire if he desired. The flare vanished, and soon he was his normal, calm self, but with a considerate yet stern edge to his voice. This obviously isn't getting us anywhere. Orally, I know this meant a lot to you, but we also can't forget the original reason for being here. Kerr, ease off. Let's not fight, especially when we'll be working together to get your form back. He softened and leaned in so he was on eye level with me. How tall is he? I thought they were always on eye level with me. Alrighty. You can still help, knight or not. It's only a title, right? You've already done so much for us. You're like a knight already. Cute, but you don't actually know what a knight is. So... I can only take that with a pinch of salt. A rather large pinch of salt. Think of a handful of salt. For some reason, that caused me to smile, and I chuckled lightly at his attempt to cheer me up. Yeah, I can still help. I stood back up. You can be cool sometimes, Omari, and mature. just not the other 90% of the time. He pouted and folded his arms. I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest one here. Kerr and I exchanged surprised glances, since I had definitely pegged Omari as the baby of the group. Do we both feel like we can talk in an amicable manner again? I nodded. After a moment's hesitation, Kerr shrugged, but didn't fight back. Oh, I forgot the letter, although I don't see any point in going back for it now. Maybe I should have listened to the alternatives. It wasn't like I was getting completely rejected. It's my fault for relying too much on my mum's name anyway. At that moment, someone ran up to us, clutching the letter. He carried an air of formality, and I instantly recognised his uniform rank as Captain of the Guard. Is he going to make me a knight? Rendering the last 5 minutes of this game completely and utterly pointless? I gaped. Gaped? Gasped. Right, okay. I was going to say, you did what now? I gasped, but quickly regained my composure. Excuse me, but is this your letter? I merely nodded. Yes, but how did you know? When I asked the receptionist about this, she said the young lady took it rather hard when she didn't get accepted. Although I could not see Omari and Kerr's reactions, I had a feeling they were probably agreeing with that remark. Yeah, alright. Did he witness the bench scene from earlier? Being reminded of my rejection was enough to get me on the verge of tears, but I nodded again and tried to regain some dignity. You lost that a while ago. Yes, I'm sorry for not knowing about the new regulations, and he shook his head. I was never a stickler for those changes. I find them too limiting. Why, back in my day... He trailed off and coughed. However, I can't just knight anyone if you possess the same skill and potential. As a student of the Oliver Knight Academy, I could possibly make an exception here. I felt my heart stop as I tried to prevent a paroxysm of squealing. Sometimes I have feel like this game is beating me over the head with a thesaurus. However, even if you're Lady Bayard's daughter, I'm not going to go easy on you. You will still need to take a test, and I'm pressed for time. Would you prefer a test of sword skills or a written exam? Sword, sword, sword. He glanced at me in bafflement, but smiled, just like your mother. I worked on her for years. If you knew about the new guidelines, she'd probably be livid. Hang on a second. Yeah, just like your mother. Cold to the bone. Intelligence? Who needs any of that shit? Oh, goody gumdrops. He gestured back to the headquarters. Then, if you're ready. I glanced back at Omari and Kerr, resisting the urge to jump. Yeah, please do. I'll be back soon. Please wait here. Right. Well, that was a... fuck's sake. Serendipitous event. I know what that means, but come on. I'm glad things worked out in the end. Are you kidding? Everyone entering and exiting the building saw her embarrassing display. I'm surprised someone decided to see why there was a girl dissolving into the bench from all her tears. Hey, Kerr, shut up! Rock for brains. One track mind, that girl. Cough, same you cough. I hope she comes back soon, though she did promise to take me to that glittering shop. What's a cavity anyway? By the way, Ilmari. Ilmari? Oh, did he just... He addressed him by his proper name! Oh my god! That's what I said. You're right. About earlier. You fought rather competently, that surprised me. Never thought my spells would come in handy that way. I'm glad it worked out. Why did you not really burst out laughing anyway? I admit it was a rather interesting scare tactic, but I don't think that was its intention. It was nothing. I'm curious. Nothing important. Damn straight, you slap him around the face and tell him so. Hey, you two! Did it work out? I mustered a small smile and rubbed the back of my head. Yeah, maybe not as I'd like, but not all was lost. Basically, he was impressed. He can't give me the rank without more proof. I'll be helping out the Argent Valier Guild as a knight in training. I can do quests and little tasks, but I can't be included in any major orders. They said to compare it to the final year of their academy. I didn't exactly get that comment, as I'd never been enrolled before, but I guess that meant I could consider myself close to graduating. Amen to that. Explaining the situation solidified some of my confidence, and now I was grinning. I even got a little badge. What was that? Fanfare! Ilmari clapped while Kerr's mouth tugged very slightly at a corner. So we can get to the next altar. That's not tugging slightly at the corner. Yes, Kerr. However, it's getting late, so things will have to be postponed. But I still intend to keep my promise. I'll take you to the altar first thing in the morning, then I'll show you to the marketplace. I'm happy with that arrangement. That works. Oh, and I even got my own lodging, like a real knight. But I can't let unauthorized people in with me. I can find an inn for you both, an inn? Where you can sleep indoors for a price. We'd pay them. No, we'll be fine outside, Kerr. I'd rather sleep outside anyway. Don't they realise how dangerous that is? Like, people invented houses in order to, like, protect yourselves from hazards and whatever. Right, it's autumn now and it's still pretty warm. However, please tell me when it's starting to get too cold to remain outside at night. Then I can arrange an inn. Not sure where you'll go currently. The gardens seem nice, so you could easily get some sleep there. Just don't get into trouble when I'm not around. Ilmari chuckled. Like a mother, our cultures may be different, but we do have a lot of common sense. Well, they didn't say a lot of common sense, they just said a little bit. His gaze briefly flickered to Kerr as if second-guessing himself. I'll be watching over him then. What's that supposed to mean? I went to the lodge with the others as directed and was pointed to the second floor where I would be staying. It was essentially like an inn. Just you're not paying, so it's not like an inn. Female knights temporarily staying in Oliver live here. While they remain here, they can do various tasks around the city for money or little rewards. Think of it as a little, training for all the virtues a knight should represent. So they will be... Fuck's sake. So they will be honourable and righteous, both on the battlefield and while protecting civilians. And of course, you'd help me. You two will be able to learn everything about Heavenkind without getting too bored. If I didn't become a knight in training, we'd probably just wander off aimlessly hoping for something to do, and I don't think Kerr's master would accept that as a meaningful experience. Amen to that. Makes sense. Is his title really that important? Yes. Kerr opened his mouth to interject, but seemed to have thought better about it. He's getting sense. Instead, he rubbed his temples and exhaled loudly. Try to include something more battle-orientated. Yes, okay, I shall. Also, little pauses there. I think I may have said before, but every time this doesn't skip on to another text box and it just opens another line, you have to hit it twice. I don't know why, but that's a thing, apparently. I don't know if fighting over other Heavenkind would count as an ideal experience. Well, I'll see what I can do. For now, let's get to that altar tomorrow and see that marketplace as well. I'm exhausted. So much happened today. Of course, I'll see you in the morning. Thanks. Yeah, exactly. See, there, I've already hit space once. See? Twice. in order to open another line. I don't know why that happens. I'd consider it a bug, personally. Don't oversleep, Kerr. At least I won't be poked by a stick. Is Omari headed for the garden? Kerr took a step and then paused before glancing back. Is this one of your reluctantly admitting something confessions again? Shut up. It's not... Fine, it is. It's okay, Kerr. It shows I'm understanding you better. Is it about the fight? Yes, I might have acted a little harshly with you when you were obviously feeling down. It's okay, I guess my reaction was a little... immature. I'm surprised you didn't leave me there. Believe me, the thought had crossed my mind, but Omari wouldn't have approved. Oh wow, so we're also under Omari's leadership now as well. Times have changed. Well, I'm sorry for snapping at you. We do seem to rile each other up. I'll try to be a better friend to you. He doesn't know what a friend is. Friend? Yeah, thought so. Yeah, I mean, we've already been through so much together. I consider both you and Omari friends. My words seem to have startled him. Oh, he does know what a friend is. He was just startled by... That's how much he doesn't think it. That I was like, oh, you're my friend. He's like... no. Etc. He awkwardly mumbled a goodbye and departed. Guess that notion never occurred to him. Well, already, you're a knight in training now. Time to start acting like one. Eee! Oh, fucking hell. I'm never going to get over anyone saying eee. Jumping up, I entered the lodge, eager for the next day and the adventures it would bring. Is there another chapter? I don't like the way it's faded to black like that. There's another chapter. Oh, okay. My bad in that case. I thought there were 5. Or was there 9? Oh, well, we're about to find out, aren't we? I thought this was the nearly end. So I've done half an hour. Well, nearly half an hour. Oh, well, I hope you fucking appreciated that, because I'm sweating like a